Oh, boy.
Look, Jessica, we get Mark's face tonight.
Woohoo!
I know, it makes it so much better.
Lucky us.
187. 187. Just do like normal. We'll do news. We'll do mark your calendars. And when we go around, who's got the most?
I only have 3 new watches and then 3 rewatches.
Okay.
I have imaginary. Wait, hold on a minute. Let me see. I have. Oh, wait, maybe I have 4. I have the seating, imaginary, shake, rattle, and roll, extreme, and so sick.
That's 4?
Yep.
That's good.
I have Night Swim, Killer, or Kill Her, but it's one word. Double Blind, and Here for Blood.
You got stop motion, right?
Oh, yeah, and stop motion.
Yeah.
I'm getting confused about like what I've already talked about on the last Roundtable.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but honestly, only 1, 2, 3, 4 that I really care to talk about at all.
Go around 4 times and then we'll dump.
Yeah, sounds good to me. 4 times. We'll start with Tammy. Then we'll go Jessica. You, Mark. See, I always put myself last. So selfless.
Comes with the territory.
Here we go. All right, we'll be good to go in 3, 2, 1. Well, I should make sure my. Can you hear me?
Yes. I also hear like underwater sounds.
Sorry. Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, my headphones came undone. We good to go. 3, 2, 1. What's up, and welcome to the Horrorcast, episode number 187. And tonight is a Rotten Roundtable episode. If you're new to us, a Rotten Roundtable episode is one where we go around the Rotten Roundtable, talk about what we've been watching. We also do talk about some horror news that's pertinent, and we do a Mark Your Calendar segment where we talk about what is coming out in this current month. I am one of your hosts tonight, Mark Nato, and we have 2 other co-hosts. We're sadly gonna miss Vin tonight because he has watched half of a horror movie in the past couple of weeks. That's okay. He'll catch up. But we do have 2 others. So Taminator, what's up?
Hi, you guys. So happy to be here. These are my favorite. So yay.
Even when the movies aren't very good, still a good format.
Keep hanging on.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, and we have Jessica. What's up, Jessica?
Hey, I agree with Tammy. Even if they're bad, it's good because then we can at least vent about how bad they are to people who understand us. So,
All right.
Each other.
This is a little bit looser of a format. Usually we have 2 movies that we watch, and we're kind of stuck to just those 2 movies. So this one, anything might happen, and we do try to keep the spoilers to a minimum because most of the movies that we'll talk about that we are watching are new releases. Sometimes we'll have some older movies and we might spoil it, but tonight I think everything's pretty much new. So, well, let's get moving, and we're going to go right into the news feed. I was looking through Bloody Disgusting and saw a bunch of stuff that we could possibly talk about. this just struck my fancy. Samara Weaving wants to fight Freddy Krueger in a Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. What do you think about that?
I think
I
hell
love
yeah.
her. Yeah. I'll
I
watch
mean,
her do anything though. So
Seriously.
I guess she was interviewed at the South by Southwest over the weekend, and yeah, she's already been in Mayhem, the babysitter, Ready or Not, which was great.
yes.
She was like a cool cameo at the beginning of Scream 6, and I believe she was in Ash versus Evil Dead.
She was.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so she's definitely got the love for horror. So that would be pretty cool. But are we okay with another Friday the 13th Nightmare on Elm Street like reboot or what?
Well, why did this come about? Was it just one of those things where someone was like, is there anything in the horror genre that you would like to do? And she was like, yeah, I think it would be cool to battle with Freddy or something. Or is it come up because like people are actually considering making it?
She was asked the question, what franchise would you like to appear in next? And she said A Nightmare on Elm Street. I've also heard that Mike Flanagan was thinking about doing a reboot. That would be interesting.
Of Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yes.
Oh, what? That would be cool.
And I also heard this would be interesting that Kevin Bacon would be interested in playing Krueger.
Okay. Yes. I'm on board.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
He's kind of got that,
that
I think he's
same
kind of got that
body
look.
type.
Yeah.
So I think that would be interesting.
Honestly, that would be cool. This is just random, but I finally watched that Dawn of the Dead remake from 2004, the Zack Snyder one.
Yeah.
You did? Yeah.
Yeah, I finally watched it because it's on Netflix and it's leaving soon. And I was like, oh yeah, I said I would watch that and report back. That is like a great example of a remake done right.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's updated, it's fresh, but it has all these great little like details and homages to the original that you appreciate. Like if someone's gonna redo something that's been beaten to death, like one of these main franchises, if it's like through a Mike Flanagan lens with people like Samara Weaving, like I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I just don't want to watch the same thing regurgitated over and over and over for the rest of my life.
Yeah. And I number one, love Dawn of the Dead remake. It gets a lot of crap sometimes. I love it.
Love it.
Oh my God, it was
I have
so
said
good.
this many times on this podcast. I like the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street for what it was.
Yeah, I was okay with it.
What was it? Perfect? No. But I thought Jackie Earl, what's his name? Jackie Earl Haley?
Haley, yeah.
Yeah. I thought he did really well in it. I liked all the actors and actresses, and I liked a lot of the kills and stuff. There was a little bit too much CGI in it, but yeah, I thought it was actually pretty creepy and pretty scary. But yeah, so anything with Samara Weaving, Mike Flanagan directing, Kevin Bacon actually possibly being in something. Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And,
I don't know if any of that
has a big crush on the Bacon Man.
I mean, who doesn't?
Right.
Where'd she go? Oh, there you are. Okay. You said no?
No, I said who doesn't?
I don't. I like
Whatever.
him. I don't have a crush on him.
This is a safe space, Mark.
Oh my God.
Although I do those hips and Footloose. Come on.
Oh my God.
Got the white t-shirt on. You can never, 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 never. Come on.
Yes.
Great stuff.
I feel so bad that our listeners just missed that dance move.
Yes.
I love Footloose.
That's awesome.
Yep. All right. Tammy, we'll talk about this later, but just had to say horror on the big screen. The Blumhouse horror movie Imaginary made $10 million over the weekend. So
8 of which were mine.
yes, whether you like it or not, the fact that it made $10 million in the weekend, that the budget production was 10 to 12 million. So basically,
Made its
anything
money back.
it makes from now on is profit. So
Yeah.
again, horror brings them to the theater.
Can you guys remember, what did Five Nights at Freddy's make on its first weekend? Do you remember?
I don't
don't know.
remember, but I think it made like more money than any other horror
it
movie,
was,
at least that
All
year.
right.
didn't it
So-
make 80 or 90 million
All right, good.
just for the year or something? Like it was, Megan
Okay.
opened in a weekend and made 30 million. So
Well, that was one of those PG-13s done right, which anyway, I'll talk about later.
You'll talk about this one later. But I just wanted to say, it horror continues to bring people to the theater.
Yep.
Here's an interesting bit of news. The Halloween, the next step for Halloween. Thank God that the what was his name? David. What's his name? The guy that did he did the Exorcist remake and he did the Halloween. What's his name?
Oh,
David
is that
Gordon Green. David Gordon Green. That's it.
Is that his name?
So yes, that's
Why does
his
that
name.
sound weird right now?
Yeah. But thank God his trilogy is over. There were good parts of it. There were bad parts of it. We can all agree with that. The next thing is that they're going to bring Michael Myers to the small screen in a TV series. Don't exactly know what it's going to be called yet. If it'll just be called Halloween, if it'll be called like Haddonfield, who knows what it might be called. It says don't expect any kind of continuation to the storyline from this latest trilogy. The foundation of, I'm just going to read this. The foundation of it is the original film, the John Carpenter movie, the characters of that film, and perhaps a group of characters we haven't really focused on that much in recent films or even in a number of them. It's a creative reset completely and going back to the original film, as opposed to spinning out any of the more recent film adaptations. What does that look like?
Yeah.
I
Is
don't
this
know,
to compete with the Friday?
that's what I was just thinking.
I don't know. Will we get more into Michael as a child? Will we get into, Laurie Strode? Will we get into, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm open to it. I'm as long as it's not a continuation of some of this mess that we've gotten, I'm open to it.
Yeah.
Especially, what if they set it in 1978? Like it has that whole feel to it.
Well, that's what it seems like.
Oh, all right then. Yeah.
If they're gonna, it says, what was the characters of that film? I mean, I don't know, and they're saying it's not like a sequel type thing. Going back to the original film, as opposed to spinning out any of the more. So possibly, it's just more content, like
really fleshing out the story.
During, and flesh out the story more.
I'm open to that because there's something there that could be done well if somebody does it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I just hope they don't do like a bunch of seasons.
No, it should probably be like a one and done, like a mini series type thing.
Yeah.
If you ask me, but you know how it is. If it does well, it makes money. They're going to keep doing it. Yeah.
I mean, even a couple seasons will probably be okay, but yeah, I don't want this to be the kind of thing that has like 6 seasons or something.
Yeah.
Or if they do what the original, franchise was planning to do, wasn't it going to be each one was going to be a little different or something? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be interesting. And I don't the whole idea there in that last David Gordon Green film, where like it's like this evil that's passed down, and it's kind of like a curse, and kind of Haddonfield is part of that curse. Something happening in Haddonfield, I don't know, like the spirit of Michael Myers or something. I don't know, because there's only so much you can do that doesn't borderline on ridiculous. I mean, how many times can Michael Myers die and come back? I mean, evil
or go
dies
to space
tonight.
Or go to space, or take Manhattan, or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see like more background with Loomis, because I really liked.
Who would play him though?
I don't know. I liked the thought of the Rob Zombie movie. Okay. I don't like his execution, other than I thought his Michael Myers looked really cool and menacing, and it was brutal. The kills were great in that movie, but the acting, the dialogue, the story, sorry, it's just not good, because Rob Zombie can't write his way out of a wet paper sack. But if we go down that road with somebody who's actually got writing talent, and then, and I'm sorry, I'm not a Malcolm McDowell fan, except for like A Clockwork Orange. That's about it for me.
What?
So, yeah. I mean, what? It's the same character in every film. I mean, come on.
Was he in the Rob Zombie movies or something?
He was Loomis.
Oh, I haven't seen them. I had no idea he was
there
in
you
them.
Go. Yeah.
Was he not a good Loomis?
I didn't think so.
I can see him not being a good Loomis.
Yeah, he was. But
he's awesome in general. What about in Tank Girl?
I don't think I've ever seen Tank Girl.
Oh, you never seen Tank Girl?
I saw Tank Girl. Okay, all right. Was it a girl walking around in a tank, or got a tank top on? Or no, I'm just kidding. I know what it is. I just
so. Yes and yes.
Yeah, maybe. To me, I think like Clockwork Orange, fantastic. But once he started being in Rob Zombie movies, you could see like the roles he's offered they dried up, and pretty much everything he's in now is almost crap.
Oh.
And I don't know why that is, because he was kind of like a lauded Hollywood actor for a long time, and I guess once you start going down that road of I'll be in anything, that's what you'll get. So
he was in She Will like a year or two ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't that the one with the witch Alice?
Alice Krieg.
Alice Krieg. Yeah, that was all right. But anyway,
it was all right.
Enough about Malcolm McDowell. Okay. We are on the rabbit trail. Would like to see where this goes. I'm going to be following it, and I think it'll be cool. Couple more things. We got a Nicolas Cage horror film coming out April 12th called Arcadian. It just came out at the South by Southwest. I wish I could have been a part of that or something. I love those film festivals, but shot in Ireland. It's after a catastrophic event depopulates the world. A father and his two sons must survive this dystopian environment while being threatened by mysterious creatures that emerge at night. So, it's just a straight up post-apocalyptic creature feature. So I'm interested in that. I don't have that on my list of releases because it's not officially, on any kind of list, but this says April 12th. So put that down. Wanted to mention this. It's not necessarily horror. Anybody watch the Oscars last night?
No.
Did you like Poor Things?
It was like my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah. So it's horror adjacent. It uses that kind of trope. And it's more of like a dark comedy type thing. Um, it was nominated for 11 Oscars. Emma Stone won. And I think it probably won, I think, for costumes and
it did
set design and all that.
Did.
It might have won for makeup too. Maybe, I'm not sure. So that is available to stream now. So I just wanted to say that it's on Hulu.
Yep.
So if you have not watched, I mean, don't go in thinking it's horror, but if you like that Dr. Frankenstein mythos and that story, it's a fresh take. It's a weird take. So I just wanted to mention that.
It's very like charming and endearing.
Yeah. Yep. She's great in it.
Yeah.
She's great in everything. And you could tell last night, I don't know why I like to watch the Oscars. I just do. You could tell last night she was shocked that she won. Because the lady from Killers of the Flower Moon, the Native American lady, she's been winning all the other awards, like the Screen Actors Guild Award, the Golden Globes, and usually that's the precursor. If you win those, you're pretty much going to win the Oscar. And that's not what happened. So I don't think she was prepared. She was kind of blown away. But I like Emma Stone. She's a nice person, I think.
Yeah.
More about David Gordon Green. What about his The Exorcist franchise that he is no longer a part of?
Are there updates to that? Did they find someone else?
Jason Blum says we are definitely going to make another Exorcist movie, but I wanted more time to figure out what it would be. I have no idea what it's going to be yet, so he has no idea. But David Gordon Green is not going to be involved. Thank God, because he completely.
You know what I'd love to see?
He completely made half a good movie last year. What?
You know what I'd love to see is what if Jason Blum came out and said, "Look, I'm sorry, everyone. I understand that sucked. And we're going to go back to the drawing board and we're going to get this figured out. But we want to admit that we know we blew it." That would mean so much to me. Instead of just acting like, "Oh, nothing to see here. We don't know what happened. Let's just erase all that and try something else."
Yeah.
They can't do that.
I know, but
why not?
It would mean a lot to me if they did.
I mean, just say we're ditching that storyline. We're ditching that storyline. We're gonna do something different. I don't know.
Corporate America, they gotta stand behind the product they put out.
Well, they stand behind that. They're gonna get some good smells because it was terrible. Like half of that movie was good, half of that movie was absolute terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I agree.
Couple more things. A24's Maxine will release in theaters in July 5th. So that is Eli Roth film, right? No, Ty West. It's the trilogy, the X trilogy. It started with X. Pearl was in the middle, and now this is Maxine, which I believe is it about like a younger Pearl? What is it about? I don't even know.
No. So Maxine was the main character in X.
In X. Okay.
Yeah. So that's going to be her journey after the whole debacle at Pearl's farm.
Okay. I got it. Yeah. I've only watched those movies like once or twice a piece. I liked them, but I couldn't like tell you like the ins and outs of it. So just wanted to mention that is finally coming out. And did you know that Caitlin Cronenberg is coming out with her first movie?
Another Cronenberg?
This is the daughter of David and brother of Brandon, or sister of Brandon. She's got a movie coming out April 26th called Humane, and it will be exclusively streaming on Shudder. beginning July 26th. Yeah, it's described as a dystopian satire.
Of course.
So there you go. We'll see. Can it?
This man had children just to like continue his film legacy or something.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, not that they're bad. I mean, they're great movies. I just feel
well,
like
Brandon Cronenberg's really talented.
yeah.
So we'll see.
Oh,
we'll see what
it's gonna be a lot of pressure on her.
It probably is gonna be,
Yeah.
But, all right. Well, that's the news feed. At least anything anybody else can think of that you're itching to talk about? Nope.
No, I don't have anything. I think I heard rumblings that Ty West might have an idea for another Maxine movie, like after Maxine, because I think originally they were going to do 3, and now he's thinking about maybe doing 4. But that's all I know. I don't know any details about that.
Hey, as long as they, tell a cohesive story and it's not just a, cash grab, I'm all for that. So
totally.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to take a very short break. When we get back, we're going to go into Mark Your Calendars. All right, we're back, and it's time for Mark Your Calendars. Today is March 11th, so we're going to go back to the beginning of March, tell you what's already come out, what's going to come out, and then I want to talk or just give you some dates of some things that are coming up in April. We'll talk about that next month as well, but sometimes we get behind on the schedule, so I want to make sure a couple of things that are coming out that I want to hit. March 1st, Amelia's Children came out. That's for rent all over the place. That's one that I really liked that I talked about last month. So I would say watch that. Faux show. Enjoyed it a lot. 6 days ago on March 5th, this is the movie that I really I put in my top 10 of last year. It came out like the last week or so of December, Lord of Misrule. It's kind of, I think because people really liked it, it's kind of getting a bigger push now. So it actually, I think it came out in Blu-ray and DVD and everything, and it's getting more of a push. So I just want to mention that again. T Blockers came out on March 5th. Ancient parasites rise from a small town, taking the most fearful and susceptible host. A young filmmaker finds herself as the only one who can sense the possessed resistance before the horror escapes and spreads.
That sounds dope.
It looks weird because are you looking at the poster?
No.
It's a
Let
real
me look it up.
Psychedelic type poster. It looks like it would be a horror comedy. It is not. It's not. It's just a straight horror. So, yeah, interested in that. This is one I have not watched yet, but I have this on my Plex. Frogman. In the summer of '99, a 12-year-old named Dallas Kyle captured footage of the mythical Frogman, but no one believed it was real. Now, 20 years later, Dallas, now an amateur filmmaker, struggling to turn his passion into a career, returns home with his 2 friends, determined to obtain irrefutable proof that the Frogman exists. But what starts out as an innocent documentary soon turns into a Lovecraftian nightmare as they discover the horrific secrets behind Loveland's idyllic surface. So there you go.
That sounds great too.
It's got a really cool not trailer, but poster. I don't recognize anybody in it, but that doesn't mean anything. Could just be a lot of young up and comers, but I'm looking forward to watching that. It's going to be a creature feature, and as soon as you said Lovecraftian, you kind of had me there.
Yeah, me too. Yep. I'm always on board for weird stuff.
Yep. March 8th, just past Friday, Imaginary came out at the theater, the Blumhouse. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes because Tammy saw it. Here's one that I saw that I'm going to be talking about. Also came out to stream or to rent last Friday. It's called Night Shift. Anybody heard of that yet?
No, not a new one.
I'll talk about that in just a little bit. The Piper came out on Friday. This one, I think this was Julian Sands' last film. Because he passed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of like a Pied Piper type mythology. Looks pretty interesting. I'll definitely watch it. And now moving on to what is coming out. Tuesday, March 12th, The Woods Are Real. This is a drama, fantasy, horror, mystery. This is a really, really long, synopsis here that I'm not going to read. All I will say is that it looks like kind of like folk horror, like a religious horror, that sort of thing. So if you're into that, that's coming out. Double Blind officially comes out tomorrow. That's a good movie. I thought it was a good movie. We'll see. Just watched it, so she'll give her opinion later. Also tomorrow, Woods Witch. Two up and coming internet bloggers take a road trip to film footage from a forest that's known for disappearance and death. They find themselves in a fight against the supernatural for more than ratings. That doesn't sound like it's all that original. We've seen that before, but I'm going to give it a shot. Tom Sizemore is in that. He also died, didn't he? Yeah, Tom Sizemore.
I'm pretty
died.
sure.
Then Wednesday, March 13th, Blackout. A fine arts painter is convinced he's a werewolf, wreaking havoc on a small American town. Really cool poster. This is Larry Fessenden. And Barbara Crampton is in that. Yes. She is. So
everything sounds good.
Yeah,
it all sounds good until you watch it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Keep your hopes down. This is the one that I've been looking forward to. Comes out Friday, March 22nd. It's called Late Night with the Devil. A live television broadcast in 1977 goes horribly wrong, unleashing evil into the nation's living rooms.
Oh my God, yes. That sounds great.
Yeah, I've had my eye on this one for at least 2 years. And they, were supposed to have it out. Did not. I think it's kind of like a possession or something that gets caught live on camera, and I don't know, but it's been getting really good reviews. Stephen King watched it and said it was terrifying, and so I'm interested in that. Another one. This one comes out Friday, March 22nd on Shudder. It's called You'll Never Find Me. Patrick, a strange and lonely resident, lives in a mobile home at the back of an isolated trailer park. After a violent thunderstorm, a mysterious young woman appears at his door seeking shelter from the weather. The longer the night wears on and the more the young woman discovers about Patrick, the more difficult she finds it to leave. Soon she begins to question Patrick's intentions, while Patrick begins to question his own grip on reality. Yeah, I don't know. Again, if it, last year, the year before, if it came out on Shudder, I was like, I'm in.
Yes.
It's not like that right now.
No.
I'm like, okay, this is going to be a roll of the dice here.
Yeah.
This one I really am looking forward to because Sydney Sweeney's in it. I like me some Sydney Sweeney. And it's also religious, like nun horror. By the way, I don't know if I can buy Sydney Sweeney as a nun. I'm just so sorry. Cecilia, a woman of devout faith, is warmly welcomed to the perfect Italian countryside where she is offered a new role at an illustrious convent. But it becomes clearer to her that her new home harbors dark and horrifying secrets. So there you go. That'll be interesting. I'm all about non-horror. Snow Valley is a VOD thing coming out on March 26th. A newly engaged couple's ski weekend goes horribly awry when an unexpected guest arrives and the house's dark supernatural forces begin to rise. It's got a really stupid looking poster. So I'm going to say that's probably going to stink, but hey, we're going to give it a chance. I know everyone's been waiting for the sequel. Tuesday, March 26th. It's here. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God. My mom texted me and was like, I just saw a trailer for like a Winnie the Pooh horror movie. And I was like, what? Blood and Honey 2? They played a trailer at the theater? She's like, yeah. I'm like, wait, it's going to be in the theater?
Yes, it's going to be in the theater. Now, I don't know if it's going to be.
Wait.
I don't know if it's going to be like, very limited. But yeah, it's coming to the theater. Get this, not wanting to live in the shadows any longer. Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, Owl, and Tigger take their fight to the town of Ashton.
I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. They're I'm just going to say this because it's coming out sometime this month. They're doing a Mickey Mouse one too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's coming out already?
It said it doesn't have a date. It just says this month.
Oh.
Mickey's Mousetrap. Because
sounds terrifying.
Yeah, because I guess the old like Steamboat Willie type thing that he originally came out is not copyright protected again. So it's not going to be like the modern Mickey, but kind of.
Yeah.
So. And I'll read this, synopsis. It's Alex's 21st birthday, but she's stuck at the amusement arcade. The amusement arcade? What is that? On a late shift, so her friends decide to surprise her, but a masked killer dressed as Mickey Mouse decides to play a game of his own. There you go.
Man.
Yes.
Is that the arcade?
Friday, March 29th at the theater, Bag of Lies. Matthew Quimby is desperate to save his wife, Claire, who is dying from rare bone cancer. His last resort is an ancient relic capable of healing the dying, but Matt must uphold its rules and withstand the tricks it plays. That sounds good to me. I like those kinds of films. Yep. And then I'm just going to go through a couple things that are coming out in April, maybe the beginning of May, April 4th. It's a TV show. Eli Roth presents The Faceless Lady. That looks interesting. It's kind of like a folk horror type thing. Really looking forward to April 5th in The First Omen. Okay, we're taking the whole Omen story now and going way back, so we'll see. This is supposed to be good. Then on Netflix in April, a TV series, Parasite, The Gray, which is kind of like an alien possession type TV series.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yep. I know guys, set it up. Friday, April 5th on Shudder. Baghead.
Yes.
Yes, that's the one I talked about last month. I love that movie.
Excited.
Yes. So I'm glad that Shudder is actually putting that out. In cinemas, April 12th, Sting. It's a like a giant spider film. Looks pretty good. Abigail comes out April 19th, which is a group of criminals kidnap the ballerina daughter of a powerful underworld figure, and they go to a isolated mansion, unaware that they're locked inside with no normal little girl. I think she's a vampire.
Yeah.
I think that's what she is. And then Infested comes out on Shudder in April, which is kind of like a spider creepy crawly film. She Came Back comes out. Megan Follows is in that. I like her. I Saw the TV Glow is supposed to be a good film. Teenager Owen is trying to make it through life in the suburbs when his classmate introduces him to a mysterious late night TV show, a vision of supernatural world beneath their own, blah, blah, blah. And then Tarot comes out in the theaters in May, which is kind of like, I don't know, something about a tarot, a card of a deck of tarot cards that are cursed or whatever.
Nice.
And then, of course, in mid-May is The Strangers Chapter 1. That better be good. Don't ruin The Strangers for me.
Yeah, please. Because I even like the second one, actually.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was more 80s slasher.
Yeah.
Than the first one. The first one was perfection. But
yeah, different vibe for sure.
Yeah, but I still enjoyed it. It didn't ruin it for me. So
yeah, because there were like a couple of really good scenes at least.
Yes. So there you go. There's some stuff coming out, some promising stuff. I don't know what percentage of that stuff is going to be any good, but we'll see. We'll see. So that's mark your calendars, and we're not even going to take a break. We're going right into the Rotten Roundtable. Tammy, why don't you kick it off? Tell us what you've been watching. What's a film that you've been watching, and give it to us. Come on.
Alrighty. Well, I'm going to start with Imaginary, since I feel like I should, because it was a theatrical release. It is also easily one of the worst things I have seen in a long time, or like maybe ever. I've been giving passes to these PG-13 Blumhouse movies, but this one is here to remind me why they have earned the reputation they have. So this is the dollar store version of every single movie trope you have ever heard of, seen in your entire life. It's like somebody, okay, I wrote this little shtick here, okay? It's like somebody at Blumhouse in their writer's room was like, okay, I want everyone to make a list of every movie trope you can think of. Okay, got it? Good. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to tie every single one of those into one cohesive story. What's that? That's not possible? Oh, okay, well, forget the cohesive part. Let's just make a movie that has every single, and I mean every single one of those tropes in it. Also, make a list of the worst actors, especially child actors, you have ever seen. And for the main protagonist, the stepmom, let's call Lifetime and see who they've actually rejected recently, because they'll probably be available and we can hire them. Well, wait, we better put in at least one sort of known person, but who can dumb it down to fit in. I hear Betty Buckley hasn't been doing much lately, so let's try her. She can be the human exposition dump. Okay, good luck. So a little synopsis. When Jessica moves,
so what I'm feeling is that you really hated this movie.
Oh my God. I'm going to try to put it into words. Here's a tiny, short little synopsis. When Jessica moves back to her childhood home with her family, her youngest stepdaughter, Alice, finds a stuffed bear named Chauncey. As Alice's behavior becomes more and more concerning, Jessica intervenes only to realize that Chauncey is much more than the stuffed toy bear she believed him to be, and now must travel to the Never Ever, not a ripoff of the Further at all, to retrieve Alice's soul. All right, so
the Never Ever.
I don't even have words for how bad this is. I probably would have left, except I'm on a podcast and didn't have many watches, and was due to record an episode about my recent watches. So here we are. Every single character in here is dramatic and horrible, both their acting abilities and who they are trying to portray. First of all, there is zero chemistry between anyone here, yet we are supposed to believe these people are a blended family, but act like they've never even met each other, yet somehow have this deep hatred for the stepmom. You need to feel some sympathy for the two sisters in here, but they are so unlikable and annoying, there's no way for that to happen. There's absolutely no narrative structure here, zero. I could go on and on, but I won't. I just kept waiting for it to get better, and it just kept getting worse. There's my review.
Wow.
I was so mad.
So what you're saying, run out and watch it. Run out, put your $8 down and watch it.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Put this against Night Swim. That was such a good movie. And I don't even know how this Blumhouse needs to go sit in the corner of shame and just feel bad for themselves. I don't know how this got a release.
Well, I guarantee you congratulating each other.
Yes, I know, and
Because
I
they made their money back in one weekend. So
I know.
you know what they're thinking about, right? They're thinking about Imaginary 2. That's exactly what they're thinking about.
I hope not.
Yeah, well, I'm just
Well,
saying.
Tammy's wrong.
I'm trying to save everybody their $8. Wait for it to be on Peacock next month or something because
Okay. All right. I was actually going to go see that
so
the other
bad.
day. I'm glad I
Don't do it.
waited.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So that's a rousing review of Imaginary. Sorry if you were looking forward to that. Jess, what you got?
You know what? I will bring up Night Swim first, just because it kind of goes hand in hand with what Tammy was just talking about. So I've been hearing people say they don't really like Night Swim, and then so far for Imaginary, I haven't seen a lot yet, but people seem to think it's like a step above Night Swim from what I've read.
Mm-hmm.
I was okay with Night Swim. It definitely wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I don't know if it was as good as you guys made it sound. Not like you made it sound like it's great. You kept saying like it's not a great movie, you know what I mean? So I get that. But there were just some issues I had with it, which were issues that I was expecting to have with it because of the kind of movie it is. So it was totally fine. And I did like that one actress that was playing the mother, Carrie Condon. I've seen her in a few things recently, and I really like her.
I liked her
So,
too.
yeah. So I thought it was a decent movie, and I think the people that were saying that it's like the worst garbage ever were exaggerating a bit. But yeah, there was some like cheesiness to it, of course, and like some of the dialogue towards the end. And then there was some plot stuff I was trying to figure out towards the end as well. But it was still enjoyable to watch. So for people who don't know, it's about a family that move into a new house. And they basically have a haunted swimming pool. And there's a little more to it than it just being like a haunted swimming pool. But to not give away too much, that's how I would kind of summarize it. And, you know, of course, the family, they have their different like dynamics between the different family members. And the dad was like a pro baseball player who got injured. And because of something that this pool does for him, you know, they kind of get sucked into thinking that this pool is better than it is, you know, bad for a while. So there's like,
there's a cost.
Yes, of course.
Price.
Yeah. So, but I would still like recommend people see it. I definitely didn't think it was a heaping pile of garbage or anything.
No.
Whoever said that hasn't seen freaking Imaginary yet.
Yeah. I mean, the way I put it is it's definitely an entertaining film for a horror film released in January. You know, we usually get nothing but dreck in January. And that's why I believe that movie just was automatically dismissed.
Yeah.
It is not as bad as all that. It's trust me.
I liked it.
The only thing that I really didn't like, there was a few story things, but like some of the CGI, like down under the pool, I was
I agreed with you about that.
Kind of mid, but like everything else, like I said, there were some really suspenseful parts, some really creepy parts, and I mean that's really all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for a cinematic masterpiece every time I go to the movies, because I know that's asking too much. Just entertain me with something that's well made, at least competently made.
Yeah, when you see the PG-13, I'm going to tamper I'm not going to get gored out. I'm not going to get grossed out. This is supposed to be suitable for older kids. So I'm already like tamping my expectations to that. And that's fine. It's going to be maybe a little more, you have to make the story maybe a little more fleshed out because you have to think maybe kids are going to go see it. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And I thought this movie did that pretty well. But when or even Megan, but then you like this Imaginary, it's not good for anyone. I don't care how old you are. So.
Yeah. Okay. Tammy said it.
I was pretty on board throughout Night Swim until it got closer to the end, and then it kind of just felt a little rushed in them trying to explain what was going on. And then there's a possession of sorts, which I won't spoil, but I'll just say that that's when like some of the cheesy dialogue kind of comes into play. And I'm like, I know Hollywood has to do that, but I wish that they hadn't.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I would say that that's a movie that they probably could have fleshed out a little bit more, but again, being a PG-13 film that they knew teenagers would come see, they're probably thinking, how can we cut this bad boy down, so that it's palatable. Yeah. But that's actually, to me, that's like, man, that would make a really good miniseries.
Yes.
And go through like the different families that have come and gone through that house or something.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it would be interesting, but
but there's definitely some tense scenes. Like the pool party scene was really good. I actually really liked the relationship between the father and the son, especially like when we, come to find out like how it really is like towards the end of the movie. I thought that was really cool that they explored that.
Yep. Very good. Very good. That's probably out of the theaters now, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
You might catch it in like a dollar theater or something, but if they still exist, do they still exist? Dollar theaters?
The good one up here in Wisconsin doesn't anymore.
Gosh, I love the dollar theater.
I think the one back home where I grew up, that's where I like lived growing up. Me and my mom just went to the dollar theater like every single week.
It's probably the $5 theater now, but
right.
I went and saw Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one, 8 times at the dollar theater. Because I was always going with somebody else, bringing another friend or whatever. And the way they had it was you could bring in like your own plastic bag, and for $1, they would just shovel it full of popcorn.
What?
I was like, this is the best place ever.
That's a movie
Cares
mecca,
that
man.
it smelled like urine.
They always do smell a little funky.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I think my mom and I saw John Carpenter's Vampires like 8 times at the dollar theater because we really like that movie. I know people hate on that movie, but
I love that movie.
I love it.
Movie.
It's, it's just like, there's a little black mold. That's okay. It's worth it.
It adds to the scariness.
I'm exchanging my long-term health for a cheap movie. It's all right. So
still better than paying $12 every time you go to see a movie.
Yes. Better than paying to go see Imaginary, according to Amy.
Yeah.
So, all right. I'm up, and excuse me, as I just burped in everyone's face.
In my earphones, yep.
First thing that I'll talk about that I watched was a film called Lovely, Dark, and Deep. This is a horror film. I think I had to watch it on Prime. I think it was $5.99. Lennon, a new backcountry ranger, like a forest ranger, travels alone through the dangerous wilderness, hoping to uncover the origins of a tragedy that has haunted her since she was a child. This was directed and written by Teresa Sutherland, who also wrote the film The Wind.
I love that movie. Oh.
Yeah, that was a good film from 2018. So she's got talent, okay? What I'm going to say about this movie is that it is very well made, very well acted. It's got Georgina Campbell in it, who was in, we talked about this last time. Barbarian. She's also been in Black Mirror, Bird Box. Barcelona, which I never watched.
I did.
I never watched Bird Box Barcelona because I didn't think Bird Box itself needed a sequel. So, but she is a good actor.
It was an interesting take on like
Yeah.
what was going on, a different perspective in a different setting, and she was good in it.
Yep. She is also in the film Tim that I was talking about, which is like the android that kind of goes crazy. I think she's a good actress, and she's got a really interesting look as well. But she is. It's all based on the fact that tons and tons of people, if you don't know this, go missing every year in these national parks, these giant, national parks and forests and stuff. They just vanish. Now we know that it's probably the fact that they got lost somewhere, died, and got eaten by an animal or something. Whatever. This kind of explores it a little bit more. Like, what if something more sinister was at play? And they do a good job of. She takes this job because something happened to her as a child that kind of involved these disappearances or whatever. And I won't, you'll have to, if you watch the trailer, you'll know. They'll spoil that for you right away. But and so she wants to figure out like what happened, what is going on, and so it's really like kind of a mystery, and she is kind of figuring out what is happening, and I really enjoyed it. I did. It's not like something that's really action packed and that's going to knock your socks off. There's not a lot of gore or anything. I don't even see a rating on this. There's not a rating on IMDb. I don't know. My guess is that it would be PG-13. But it's more of like a mind horror kind of thing. Like what's really happening here? What's real? What's not? And the cinematography is really, really gorgeous. The acting is good, except to me, there was a glaring miscast in this movie. And this is not anything against Chinese people, but the Chinese lady, Wai Ching Ho, I believe her name is, her real name. She plays like the head park ranger. It's almost as if she is reading off a cue card.
Oh no.
It is so bad. Especially the fact that she's in scenes with Georgina Campbell, who's a great actress. I'm like, did they think this worked? Like, I don't think so. I think this movie could have been even better if they'd cast a better person in that role. Thank God it was not this huge role, but yeah. So if you like those kind of weird kind of mystery type thing, I think that you will enjoy this. But it's nothing that's going to knock your socks off. It's a perfectly decent, well-made film that probably we won't think about when we come to our year-end lists. But I'm not sorry that I watched it. I thought it was a decent movie for what it is. I mean, you're going to see like on the poster, one of the year's best horror films. Okay, it's March, people. Come on.
Yeah, so far.
Terrifying. Now there were some cool, creepy scenes. Yes, there were some, but I would not characterize this film as terrifying. But there were some cool, creepy scenes. So yeah, watch
Do you prefer The Wind?
Oh yeah. Yeah, The Wind is, I mean, that's a really, really good film.
I haven't seen it.
You've never seen The Wind?
No, but it's on my list for mine and Tammy's podcast.
It's on my
yeah.
list for
Yeah. That
we're
is
gonna do it soon.
I don't want to oversell that movie as well.
Yeah.
Because that's another movie that it's not,
It really relies on atmosphere too, but
Yeah.
I think it does a really good job. So if I'm watching this one for sure.
Yeah.
When you just were talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Me too, just because I love the title.
Yeah. There's just I like how they kind of try to go into that mystery, like what happens to all these people that go
Yeah.
missing.
Do you remember, Mark, when I first came back on the show, I
Yes.
brought up missing
Yes.
411.
Yes.
And so I'm like fascinated with that whole thing. So I'm
Yes.
watching this anyway, but yeah, totally.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I actually, you know, because I'm a hiker and stuff, so I'm like subscribed to all these hiking groups and national parks
Yep.
pages and stuff, and they're always posting about people that go missing. So I'm often, you know, like
Yep.
resharing them and such, and
Yep.
it's always so sad.
Yeah, and they do a good job of making you, you know, and I think it's a testament to her acting as well. Like for you to care about like her situation and what like it could have easily just been anybody going out and experiencing this, but the fact that she had this happen to her in her own life, and like the whole reason that she's a park ranger is to figure out what, you know, and I'll leave it to you to watch it to see if she does figure it out, you know, but that's we'll go from there. So yeah, lovely, dark and deep.
Sounds good.
Tammy, round 2.
Well, I'll stop being the curmudgeon of the show, and I'm going to bring up Shake, Rattle, and Roll Extreme, which is easily one of the best things I have watched as far as 2024
and Roll Extreme.
Did you guys, either of you have seen this? I take it.
I have not.
I don't think I've heard of it.
I've heard of it.
It just dropped on Netflix. So this is a new Filipino horror anthology that just dropped on Netflix. Each of these is 45 minutes, so it's really long. It's like what, 2.5 hours then, and it actually feels like 3 actual movies. Little synopsis: Glitch, which is the first part. The daughter is watching a popular kids show in the 70s until it comes to life. Mukbang is the second one. A group of influencers visit a mansion when 2 of them become monsters. And the third one is Rage. Everyone watches as the meteor shower until a virus spreads. So here's my advice. Just fast forward right through Glitch. I almost turned it off after that one because it takes a religious bent, which I hate, but thanks goodness I didn't. Now we get to the good stuff, Mukbang. This is a horror comedy and it works. I was laughing out loud, but I was also horrified. And you do have to put up with influencers like trying to blog for likes and stuff. But as they get picked off, it kind of makes you cheer, you know? But like I said, it was actually funny, extremely campy. And then in the best, in my opinion, Rage, which is the third one, we take a very hard left turn here. I think somebody should turn this into a full-length movie ASAP. To me, this was like Train to Busan meets Resident Evil. And I say that because it's a group of people fighting zombies with guns and knives, and then they have to like fight a big boss. And it is amazing. And the best part of it, 2 of the heroes are female and 1 is pregnant, which brings a little bit of Dawn of the Dead remake, which it's funny that Jessica brought that up because that's what it reminds me of. I won't say too much about what happens, but you kind of get my drift. This is so good that it negates the first bad story. I absolutely love this. And in just 15 minutes, unlike Imaginary, or in 45 minutes, unlike Imaginary, it made me care about this entire group of people and be totally invested in them and understand what the movie was going for and achieving it with bells on. And the graphic gore, it's just top notch. There is a chainsaw to the head scene that will literally make you stand up and cheer. It is so good. And then there's a funny cut reel that plays at the end with the closing credits. So this is sitting seriously way up towards the top of my 2024 list right now. And this is in its native language, so you do have to put up with subtitles, but they kind of speak half the time in English anyway, so it's not like a real chore or anything. Yeah. And I could see people just easily passing this by because just that title, it's a horrible title. I wonder if it's almost like a bad translation. Yeah, I think it is. Because it doesn't make any sense or anything like this. Movie is way better than you think it would be from the title. I 100% recommend this. So, yeah.
Nice. Love anthologies.
Me too. And this is a good one. But it's got its one bad one, you know, like they usually do.
But, we can't have an anthology with all good segments, can we? Does it exist?
Yes.
Well, I guess maybe.
Creep Show.
Okay, whatever you say.
There's a few.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
Southbound. We just talked about.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, we
that's a
did.
good one.
Yeah.
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 There
All
you
right,
go.
Jess, what you got?
Oh yeah, it's my turn. Sorry. Yeah, so I went and saw stop motion in the theater semi recently. It was out here for about a week. Limited release just in the Regal theaters out here. And it's written and directed by Robert Morgan, who's known for doing these stop animation shorts, all from like the 90s up until current day. So he's been active, but they're all shorts. This is his first like full length real movie, and it does have stop motion animation in it, but it's mostly like real life, live action regular movie with
I
some
saw it
stop
too.
motion thrown in. Oh, you did? You went and saw it?
I did.
Cool. So, I don't really like this synopsis on IMDb, so I'll just say that we're following this woman who's trying to help her mother, who's also a stop motion animator like she is, but her mom's kind of like well known and renowned for her work. And her
And a
mom's
terrible
hands.
person.
Her mom seems like a very terrible person, yes. And her hands are kind of starting to go, so she's trying to have her daughter help her out on a film. And her daughter is just this kind of like meek, mild-mannered doormat of a person, So, and you can tell that this has to do with her and her mother's relationship, that's like the main reason that she's the way she is. So I don't want to give too much away, but it's kind of about her like finding her own voice and finding her own artistic style, and trying to put together her own movie, without her mother's, dictation or rule over her. And it gets a little nutso. But what I really like about it is that they don't give you a bunch of exposition about what's actually going on, where her trauma is derived from, but you can tell that it's there and you have to kind of like piece it together with what you're given. And because of that, because it's not too on the nose, I think you can kind of have like a little more wiggle room to put together what you think is going on. And it is very artsy. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was, unique. All the stop motion animation is super creepy. Like even just the style in itself is super creepy. And
The eyes of
there,
those things were creepy.
yeah. So I would recommend it. It is like a slow burn, and I could see some people being kind of bored with it. But my husband came with me to the theater, and he's, not somebody who would typically watch something like this necessarily, but he was really interested in seeing it. And he felt like it got into the story like right away. He didn't feel like it was that slow. So I thought that was like an interesting perspective to get from a normal person who, usually watches like
Yeah.
Scorsese movies and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, but I would personally recommend it. I liked it a lot. What did
Yeah.
you think, Mark?
I would recommend it as well. Simply because it's so different than
Mm-hmm.
than pretty much anything else that's out there. Um, I am absolutely going to need another watch,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just one of those like I wasn't exactly sure exactly everything that happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
It's
totally.
one of those things where I'm going to need another watch. But like the filmmaking of it was really, you could tell like there was a lot of work that went into that, and there was some pretty gross scenes. Got some body horror in it that was pretty gross.
Yeah.
Like when she cuts her leg and it opens it up, and
That was the
it's just,
hardest part for me to watch.
yeah, it was really really gross.
I was
But
like, oh,
I
my
can't watch
husband's looking
this.
at me. He's like, you okay? I'm like,
Yeah,
I can't look at that.
yeah,
I can watch like graphic over the top horror, but that
yeah,
was like, this is too real.
yeah, yep. I'm right with you. So, but yeah, it's definitely not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But if you like watching um, very interesting, well made. Like a lot of thought and stuff went behind this movie. It's not just a paint by numbers horror film. Then I would say just give it a shot. I'm trying to think of something that it would remind me of in the last few years, and I can't really think of anything that it reminds me of.
Mad God.
Mad God, maybe?
I'm just kidding, just because we're both stop
Yeah.
motion animation.
Yeah.
So are parts of the movie stop motion, or do you only just see
Yes.
stop motion when you see like the art she's creating?
It's both.
It's both.
Okay.
It's mostly when she's creating her art, but it does kind of like blend into real life in some scenes too.
Okay.
Yep. So it's definitely, if you like stop motion, there's a lot of cool stuff. Like I love that. When we think about stop motion, what's that? Kubo and the Two Strings, or Kubo?
Kubo and the Two Strings.
That movie is fantastic.
Yeah, that's from that's from Leica, and it's the same company that did Coraline. They're from out here where I live. So
I've never seen Coraline.
I haven't either.
So good. All of their movies are good, but they had like a museum display out here a few years ago because they work out here. And I got to see like the real Kubo and the Two Strings, in a display case.
That's
and
so cool.
The Box Trolls and Paranorman and all of Coraline. And
I love Paranorman.
Yes.
Yeah, Paranorman was good.
They had some like scenes set up from the movies, and it was so cool. It was like a dream come true.
Very cool.
Love Leica. Yep.
So painstaking, that stuff. So,
I know.
Yeah. All right. So stop motion. All right. My next one was one I just watched today, and I wasn't quite sure about if I wanted to watch it because I wasn't a big fan of the poster, and I was like, yeah, this just looks like a run of the mill, almost like Lifetime type horror movie.
Yeah.
And it really surprised me big time. It's called Night Shift. Did you hear about this at all?
Just from you.
Yeah. Let me bring this up. Give me a second here. I'm not as prepared as I normally am. I was right there with Jessica's review, and I forgot to. Okay. Night Shift is, again, I don't see a rating on this. Do they not rate movies if it's like goes to streaming? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe they don't have to.
I don't know.
I guess I don't think about it.
Because this is another one that I watched on Prime. It's $5.99 on Prime. I think it's worth $5.99. Absolutely. It's an hour and 22 minutes long, so it doesn't take too long to watch. While working her first night shift at a remote hotel. Oh, I'm sorry, motel. There's a big difference between a hotel and a motel.
Yeah.
A woman begins to suspect that the property is haunted. This is written and directed by Benjamin and Paul China. I don't know who they are. Don't know if they haven't done anything else. This is basically their first hurrah. It does have his name is Lamorne Morris. Did you ever watch New Girl?
I refuse.
No.
Remember
I'm
that?
aware of it.
Yeah, New Girl.
I know what it is, but I've
what's
never
her name?
Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah. This is the guy that played Winston, the black guy. I like him. He's a good actor, but he's in this. But the main lady, Phoebe Tonkin, plays Gwen, who's the main lady, and she's been in some things lately, mostly TV miniseries. She was in that movie Babylon. That was kind of a big movie. Westworld. She was in that. The Originals, which is about vampires and all that. It was a CW thing, but I really hadn't seen her like carry a movie or anything. So she carries this movie and does a really, really good job with her part in carrying the movie. She was pretty stinking. I guess I couldn't take my eyes off of her. Not because like she's pretty, but she's just like interesting. Like she was playing this
Engaging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it really it's got some good gore in it. It's got some creepiness to it. I love a haunted motel. I love
Mm-hmm.
how it says a woman begins to suspect that the property is haunted. I mean, it's pretty clear from like 10 minutes in, it's haunted that she begins to suspect. I mean, come on. Uh, there were a couple of parts with ghosts that creeped me out, and there's a few jump scares that I don't mind a good jump scare.
Did
Some
it get
people
you?
that's
Did they
cheap.
get you?
Oh yeah, they got me a
All
couple.
right, good. All right, cool.
Got me
Yeah,
a couple times.
good.
Um, and there's a twist, okay, which some people will see coming. Um, I'm not gonna ruin what that is, but it's really well shot. The sound design is really good. The gore that they do have is good. Yeah, so I would absolutely recommend that you watch this. It's not gonna be. Remember that I'm watching this in the middle of like watching lots of crap. Okay,
I feel
just to
ya.
let you know, like I watched this in between a movie called Beware the Boogeyman, which is absolutely trash. Like somebody made it in their backyard.
Yeah, you hate that.
Yeah, I mean, so when I see something that's like this is actually competently made and pretty engaging, then sometimes it
We've
makes
lowered
it.
our standards so low.
Yes, it makes it seem like, hey, Mark's really talking this movie up. It must be really great. The movie is good, but it might be made better by what I had watched previously, but it was still engaging, and I'd like to watch it again. I would. So, uh,
Well,
night
Nice.
shift,
yeah.
night shift
Add
again.
it to the
Prime
list.
on Prime, $5.99, and you tell me if you guess the twist
All right.
Oh, I
before.
will.
Yes, which I think because you guys are such, horror, savants, you will pick it out. You will pick it out, but it doesn't ruin it for you. So, all right, Taminator, we got two more rounds to go. What you
Yep.
got?
So on this guy Mark's recommendation, I watched The Seeding. So we've already talked about it. I'll just like add to it. Lost in the desert, Wyndham stumbles upon a small shack inhabited by a lone woman. No, he doesn't. As he pleads for help, he soon realizes that both of them have become playthings for a group of sadistic and violent teens. Again, no. But anyway, that's the synopsis on IMDb, but I'm not sure that's true, or at least it's never confirmed. So this is another one where there's a good idea here, but they waste screen time on a whole lot of nothing. Like these sadistic teens never really play into the movie much. It's all about his dynamic with this woman and like, am I watching a romance with a side of horror? I kind of thought I was getting the opposite. You need these kids to bring the horror and they just don't. It ends abruptly horrifically, but like, where was that the whole movie? They tease some mythology about this woman with some dreams and visions that he was having, which I kept waiting for and it never comes. And it's almost 2 hours long. So, in my opinion, it was a chore with no payoff.
Oh, I liked it.
I wish that the listeners could see all the facial gymnastics that Mark is doing while you're describing this movie.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Jessica, you have an assignment. You have to watch this and
Okay.
report back.
Always the
Yeah.
tiebreaker.
Yep.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought there was plenty of um, horrific atmosphere. Um, yeah, come on, stringing that kid up
Yep.
is not horrific. I mean, come
Yes,
on.
but how much of the movie did we get that stuff? 5% cumulatively?
But there's gotta be some tension. It's not just like, it's not that kind of movie. It's more of like what's actually happening here. And did you figure it out, or not until the end did you see figure out what was that, or do you still don't know what happened?
I still don't. Okay, without giving anything away, did you not agree that remember that dream like vision he had of her, and I thought maybe she was gonna be a thing, and I think she's just a regular person.
I'm not gonna say anything.
He cannot confirm nor deny.
Because I don't want to ruin it for
all right,
people.
never mind. Jessica, watch this movie and report back.
And the fact that like this is just made low budget. I mean, this movie's beautiful.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
The filmmaking in this
would have been good on the big screen. Like, that might have helped.
Which of course it never was in a theater, I'm sure. But
because we're busy watching Imaginary, that's why. This was way better than Imaginary, folks.
Yeah.
Way better.
No, I knew that when I watched this and I gave it a good review, like it wasn't going to be for everybody, but it's for me. So
I don't mind a slow burn, but I have actually found a slow burn that is too slow for me.
Yeah.
So
I didn't think it was really that much of a slow burn. I've watched so much stuff that's a lot slower than this, but
you'll start a movie that you're not going to like, and you'll finish it. See, I don't do that. So you're intaking a lot more than me. Hey, I stuck through it. I watched it till the end. That says something.
I'll watch it before the next Rotten Roundtable.
Usually Tammy, about 10 minutes in, if she's not feeling it, it's going off.
That's too quick, Tammy.
I don't know. Maybe 20 minutes. Maybe 20 minutes.
So on BookTube, they have a term for that. It's called DNFing. Did not finish. And it's a thing. Like,
they have that at the gym too.
Okay. It's accepted, and I'm introducing that into the horror world. So I'm just not going to waste my time.
I'll waste my time.
Yeah.
But I finished
things.
Likes, so.
I finished things because I'm on the podcast, and I want to give a fair.
But I also agree with your sentiment that like you can't really know what a bad movie is if you never watch any bad movies.
Yeah. But I mean, trust me, I think Tammy's watched plenty of bad movies.
That's true.
I mean, yeah.
But I feel like you start to get too comfortable though. Like you have to kind of reintroduce bad movies every once in a while so you can like cleanse your palate.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about like year to year. Like, how do I judge what is really good and what is really bad unless I watch the bad,
Exactly.
And the good.
Also, let's call attention to the fact that Tammy's list of movies that she likes that no one else likes is a lot longer than the list of the ones she turns off. Okay, so also I am on this other podcast with this girl right here who makes me watch stuff I would never watch anyway, so I get plenty of that. And
folks, there's this great movie. It's called Shake, Rattle, and Roll.
You are going to eat those words, mister. I guarantee you will see. You will see.
Did you hear she said she guarantee?
I guarantee.
She does.
Okay.
That's great.
All right. Jess, what you got?
All right. So next I've got Double Blind. Which was directed by Ian Hunt Duffy. Looks like he's only directed shorts and a couple of TV episodes before this. So this is his first, full-length movie. And the writer is Derek McGarrigle. They're Irish. I apologize that I totally destroyed that. But McGarrigle. I don't know. How would an Irish person say it? But
just like
it looks like all his writing credits are actually all these same movies that the director has worked on. So there's like a little team, it looks like. But this follows a group of people that are all kind of like in their early 20s to early 30s, maybe. They're all doing an experimental drug trial in this facility because they can make buco bucks from it. And they're not really, told a lot. And it looks like there's a lot of side effects from this experimental trial, but they're promised a crap ton of money, so they go for it. And I don't want to give too much away. If you read the IMDb synopsis, it kind of gives away like the main thing, and I don't want to do that. But I'll just say that they kind of go through a lockdown at one point. And I feel like all the characters are fleshed out really well. Like, I feel like they did a really good job at distinguishing all the characters and making them somewhat like reasonable and realistic, especially the main character, Claire, who's played by Millie Brady. I thought that she did a really good job being like an actual person that you could believe is an actual person, in my opinion. Like, she's not a perfect goody two shoes. She's also not like 100% rotten, but she's like, she gets annoyed at things, but she's also like a take charge kind of person. So I really enjoyed it, and it really like hits the ground running. It's an hour and 30 minutes. And things are pretty tense for most of that time. And they get going pretty quickly. I think Tammy would like this. So, Tammy, I would recommend you give this a watch. This is on Mark's Plex, by the way.
I know.
It's another movie that I recommended last week. So,
yes.
Last month. So, one that Tammy hated.
I didn't hate it.
Okay.
I didn't hate it.
Right.
I strongly disliked it.
So yeah, Double Blind. That's I want to give that another watch as well. I think that's really good.
Yeah.
It's almost like Dream Warriors without Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, it kind of was in a lot of ways, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, very entertaining.
All right. Next, I've got History of Evil. Anybody heard about this?
Yeah, but I heard it wasn't very good. So what do you got to say?
Shudder strikes again.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
Let me bring up a synopsis here, which I should have been doing. Yeah, this is another one that this one dropped, and so did Lovely, Dark, and Deep, and I had heard about both of them, so at least one of them was not a complete disappointment. If you look on IMDb, this thing's got a 3.4 out of 10 average. Which,
whoa.
Yes, Shudder dropped this, and it's got a 3.4 out of 10. Bo, I don't even know how to say his name, Morozini or whatever, is the writer and the director. Again, he doesn't have any. This is his first full length thing. He's more of a music video guy. It does star, which is weird, Paul Wesley, who is best known for playing the Vampire Diaries guy. What's his Stefan? No,
I've never seen that.
I've never seen it. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, there's two brothers in the Vampire Diaries. There's the brunette one, and then there's like the other guy. But anyway, so I knew him. The movie looks good enough. The acting is just, I mean, to me, it's kind of like TV level acting. Nothing fantastic. It does have her name is Murphy Bloom, which is a little girl that I know I've seen before, and she was in that movie last year, Clock. I don't know if you remember that. That's another horror movie. She kind of reminds me of the little girl from what is it? I never, it doesn't matter. She reminds me of somebody. Okay, so this is not really post-apocalyptic, but there is a bunch of nonsense about like America splitting into two factions. There's America, and then there's the Resistance, and this one lady is one of the leaders of the Resistance, and everyone, America is after her, and her husband is this Paul Wesley guy, and this is her daughter, and they smuggle her out of prison or whatever. She breaks out of prison, and then first of all, she's not tough or cool at all. Like, how are you doing any of this? You know, you look like you're missing your 5:00 yoga appointment. No, I'm sorry. So she doesn't make any sense as like the leader of this resistance.
Maybe she's smart.
Yeah. Okay.
Strategic. I don't know.
So they sneak through like this roadblock looking for whatever, and they get to this safe house, and the lady that is leading them there is part of the resistance, and she's like, you have to wait here for 24 hours until the rest of the resistance folks can come and get you and extract you from this house. The reason that this is the places that people will not come here because everyone's scared of this house. It's cursed, it's haunted or whatever. So basically it's this family that's in hiding, and they can't leave this house, and the house is haunted. It has like maybe 2 creepy or cool scenes. The rest of it is just dreck. Just dreck. Like, you know, I just didn't think this was good at all. I was like, how is this on Shudder?
Dang. I like almost started watching it, and then I was like, oh, this is another Civil War movie, like an American Civil War movie, and we have that Alex Garland one that's coming out later. I actually do want to see that, the one with Kirsten Dunst. So I honestly was like, I'm not gonna watch this.
Yeah, and that's not even a horror movie. That's kind of like a
right.
You know, this they really do try to make it a horror movie by they're in this haunted house. And like I said, there are a couple of creepy little scenes, but like mostly it's just not good. It's no better than like a Lifetime. Like I've seen Lifetime thriller movies better than this. And the fact that it's on Shudder is really disappointing.
Haunted house stuff like make sense to the rest of the story at all? Like why they would blend a Civil War with this kind of haunted house?
No, it has nothing to do with anything.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Why do that then?
Because they wanted it to be a horror movie.
Okay.
And they thought that would be an original idea that, you know, because it comes back around at the end, you know, the people come looking for them, and, you know, and then the people that are looking for them have to come into the haunted house, and, you know, but, you know, it is what it is. It's just not very good. Not very good.
Probably skip that one.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Shudder, where movies go to die.
Yeah. Unfortunately. I'm actually thinking about just like canceling my subscription.
It's $5.
Yeah. It's $5.
Well, because but think about it. Okay, so like they used to have a better batting average, but still a lot of our movies that were on our top 20 lists last year were still Shudder originals.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm just such a complainer.
Well, it is a bummer just because they used to have a lot better content.
Your hopes
like
are
overall.
Up.
Yeah.
Hopes are up when it's a Shudder release, and then when something is like this bad, you're
like you said, Baghead's coming out on Shudder, right?
Yeah, that'll make up for it, hopefully.
See? So.
Yeah. All right, last round. Taminator, what you got?
I got one more new one. I watched, this is a new Indonesian horror on Netflix called Susuk. A woman practices black magic and goes to great lengths to achieve fame, but she soon learns that beauty comes at a terrible price. This is really good. I really enjoyed this. If you don't mind subtitles, I would recommend it. I had to look up what Susuk was. It's this black magic practice that's, you know, means something to them, where they insert these like metal rods into women's faces secretly, and it's supposed to make them more beautiful, but they also inhabit an evil spirit, and it's this evil spirit that makes them more beautiful. But if you die while you're wearing Sissik, your body will rot, but you are still alive. So that's what ends up happening to this girl. So there's some really good body horror in it. I really liked it. Some interesting Indonesian folklore, I would say. And then I just had 3 rewatches. I rewatched Aliens with my son Landon because he had never seen it. You know how good that he had never seen it. You know how good that is. I rewatched Carrie, and then for our next episode of mine and Jessica's podcast, I had to watch Death Proof for the first time, which was outstanding. So that's all I got.
All right. How do you spell that? Sussex? Just
Susuk.
Okay.
I would recommend it. It's quite good.
Quite good. All right. Jess, what you got? Last time.
Okay, you want me to do last time for everything?
Yep.
Okay, so I watched Here for Blood, which is a comedy horror. And so basically it's this girl who's studying for finals or something at college. She has like 3 jobs that she's doing, you know, to make money for college and rent. And because of this big final she has coming up, she asks her boyfriend, who happens to be a wrestler, to babysit for her because she has a babysitting gig lined up the night before the big final. So he obliges, and he goes to babysit this little girl named Grace. And while he's babysitting her, they get a whole house invasion kind of situation goes on with all these crazy masked guys breaking in. And because he's a wrestler, he can actually protect her. And it's directed by Daniel Torres and written by James Roberts. Looks like this is James Roberts' first writing gig. And this is only the second movie that the director's done so far. But I thought that this was actually pretty good. This is kind of like when a basic like horror comedy is coming out by someone who isn't like big and well known. This is what I'm always kind of hoping for, you know? And then sometimes it kind of falls below the line and I'm like, okay, it's okay. I know these are always like low budget and you know, you always wish that they would just get some better writing behind them. But I thought that this was actually pretty cohesive. I thought it was a lot of fun. Go ahead.
But I liked it better than Destroy All Neighbors.
I did too.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. That's what I mean is like that came out and I was like, okay, I really like aspects of it, but it's, you know, it's not hitting like this basic benchmark that I want it to kind of hit. Mm-hmm. But I thought that this did it well, especially because I'm guessing they had a lot less like resources and luckily the writing was good enough, you know, to make the story good. And all the acting isn't like phenomenal, but it's not terrible. The little girl, you know, her acting isn't great, but she's adorable. She kind of feels more like a real little girl than I would kind of almost prefer that than a little girl that's like overly acting, if that makes sense.
Imaginary.
Well, I can't speak to that just yet, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. There's some like demonic cult stuff that comes into play. The family of the little girl, their acting's a lot of fun. So I would recommend it. I think it's really fun. I messaged my brother, like I've said many times in the past, I'm white trash. So we grew up like heavily into wrestling and used to go see wrestling live in LA all the time. So I texted him and I was like,
white trash.
You know, NASCAR, wrestling, Budweiser, all of the above. I was like, I think you'll really like this movie. So I texted him and told him that he needs to find it and watch it. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. It was good to see a good, decent little horror comedy because I feel like there's been like more bad ones coming out lately than good ones, in my opinion.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh, sorry, I forgot we're doing all of them.
Yep.
I also watched Kill Her, which is one word for some reason. And
it's
this
a play
follows
on killer.
Right, but they have to make it
her
girl female centric, I guess.
See what you did there? Oh.
You know what? This one is half good. This is another kind of comedy horror. Lots of gore in it. Lots of like fangirling over horror in general as a genre. And it's about this girl who takes out her best friend on a kind of what it like a bridal, oh my God, what's it called? Like a bachelorette party kind of, but it's like a camping trip. And most of the people coming aren't super thrilled about that it's a camping trip, but it's like a whole setup for a bigger thing. And they're camped next to this big gruff kind of woodsman, and they start suspecting that he is like a serial killer and all these things, but it's actually a lot of fun. Some of the dialogue's a little cringy, but it's totally supposed to be. So it's fine. I actually did like some of the style of the directing itself and the camera movements and stuff. So it's just fun. It's not like anything to write home about, but if you're looking for something kind of like brainless and just fun and you need to get in a watch for this year, I would recommend it. Yeah, and that's basically those are all my new watches. And then, like I said, I watched Dawn of the Dead. I watched It's Alive for the first time, which I really liked.
That's a rite of
now
passage.
you really want to have another baby.
No, absolutely not. I watched The Stepford Wives for the first time, the original. I watched Storm of the Century, which I never realized was a miniseries. I always thought it was a movie, but Hulu recommended it after I finished Rose Red. And I watched that and I liked it better than Rose Red. I was like, wow, this is a legit miniseries. I really liked
That's a
it.
good one, yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's got that good 90s Stephen King feel about it.
And they all have like their main accents that I thought were pretty good. I mean, I don't know because I'm not from that part of America, but I thought that it seemed like everybody had the same kind of accent generally. So I thought it was good. And for having such a huge cast, I thought they did a really good job at like fleshing out some of those characters and making you feel, like empathetic towards all of them, even the lesser likable characters. But I would recommend it. I thought it was pretty damn good.
Good.
That's it.
Pretty good. Yeah, I was looking at. Let me look real slow. Red. Yeah, I've been watching. It's been pretty good. I've only watched the first episode or so. It's called Red Rose.
I started that.
Yeah, it's a UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. You said Rose Red, and it reminded me of that, and I had forgotten that I had started watching that.
Red Rose. Is that newer or older?
Yeah, it's new. It's like a TV show. Where am I watching it? I forget.
Netflix.
Netflix. Yeah. Did we talk about the ending of True Detective?
Not on here.
I don't think we talked about it.
Yeah, because
because the last time we recorded, it was happening that night.
The finale was happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it, I didn't like the finale as much as I wanted to, but I thought overall that season was pretty good, and I've got to go back and watch the first 3 seasons, even though I know they're all separate, cases and detectives and all that. But thought that was interesting, and there was just enough like horror in it, even though it doesn't necessarily turn out to be anything horror, like really horror. Wouldn't you say that?
Or does it?
Yeah, maybe it does. I don't know.
I was a 10 out of 10 for me,
more horrific.
So.
No, it was good. It was good. I wanted to like the ending more than I did, but trust me, I still really enjoyed it. I thought Jodie Foster was great. So
I really liked it, but I will say that it is like kind of cheesy. The way it all comes together like a little too perfectly in the end, and the way that they explain it, it's like a little too cinematic, I guess.
Yeah. They tried not to leave any holes.
Loose ends.
Yeah.
But I really liked it.
But
The
then
better story is between the
then
two cops.
people
It's
complain
even better
if-
than the through
Yeah.
line, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I totally agree. I feel like it was just kind of like the way that everything was explained at the end, like with the way that it was explained, if that makes sense. Like the stylization of that whole scene was just a little too much attitude in it or something. You know what I mean?
Yep. All right. I'm gonna give you one thing that was okay, and then I'm gonna give you my pile of crap.
All right, bring it.
Uh-oh, he's got a pile of crap.
The if you look at the poster for this film, you're not gonna watch it. It's called Alice in Terrorland. Have you heard of it?
I think I've heard of it, or I've seen a poster for it or something. Yeah.
There's a couple different posters. There's one that shows the grandma, it's black and white, and there's one that's like Alice from Alice in Wonderland, and it's like her facing the other way, and she's got blood on her little blue dress.
That's what I saw.
Yeah,
I think.
it looks real cheesy. It's on Prime for $3.99. I will say this: the movie is an hour and 17 minutes, but it moves slowly. Richard John Taylor's the guy that wrote and directed this, and what it is it's like a reimagining of Alice in Wonderland, but it's like a horror type, base. And there's some good ideas here, and like the actual filmmaking is pretty good, as far as like the cinematography, the score, the sound, even the acting is pretty decent. Alice is played by Lizzie Willis, who I've never seen in anything. I think she's kind of new, but she does a good job here. And the grandmother is played by Rula Lenska, who, again, no clue who that is, but they have a good chemistry there. And it's just kind of like it reminds me a little bit of like a Pan's Labyrinth type thing, where it's kind of like the surreal thing. There's actually a rabbit, a person, but he's got this rabbit mask on. There's the Mad Hatter. There's twins. There's the walrus, the Cheshire cat. So there's all these different, and it didn't make the much sense all the time, but I was intrigued by just like the filmmaking. So I don't want to tell people that this is a great movie, but if you like to look at filmmaking and like who might be, like I would say like this is a much better filmmaking than say like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, even though, so that seems to have gotten a lot more,
Well, that's just fun.
Yeah.
I say that sounds up your alley, Jess, actually.
It's Alice in what Terrorland one?
Yeah.
Alice.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Yeah. I mean, again, he also Richard John Taylor. He also this year or last year, I've not seen it. Both of these girls, the grandma and the girl played in an adaptation of The Picture of Dorian Gray, which is a great, an older like Charles Dickens, Oscar Wilde. I don't know what exactly. It's kind of like an old timey horror thing, but yeah. So anyway, just something to think about. Here's the bad stuff. The Wendigo. Good idea. I mean, I've seen lots of movies about the Wendigo.
Yeah.
This is not really that great at all. Beware the Boogeyman, like I said earlier, was just terrible. Doesn't even deserve to have any kind of release. Earworm, I was looking forward to, because the premise, I'm not even going to tell you what the premise is. It's just not a well-made movie. It's just cheaply made and not well acted. And yeah, so that's the pile of crap. I started the film, the Black Mass. Have you heard about that?
I also started that.
It's about the college girls that were killed back in the 70s by Ted Bundy.
Yeah, I'm 15 minutes in. I'm not sure I'm going to finish it. What are you thinking?
I mean, I'll finish it.
Yeah.
To see what it's about, but like,
Yeah.
it didn't like really catch me. And so I am looking forward to Frogman. I am, and I'm looking.
I am too.
There's this film called The Vampire Next Door. I haven't seen anything other than the trailer to see if it's like really cheaply made, but it gives me like Fright Night vibes.
Right, and I was just gonna say Fright Night.
But it's a woman next door. So there's a little bit of a different dynamic there, but we'll see. Anyway, so I'm hoping that April, May, that the things start to open up, start to pick up a little bit, because
we're almost through the first quarter here, so it needs to.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say that it's been terrible, because last Rotten Roundtable, I said, hey, there's a good 4 or 5 movies that I wasn't expecting to be good, and I really thought they were good. This time, I was 2 out of 9. So not good. Not good percentage there. So
yeah.
But we're gonna keep on keeping on. Keep on watching. All right. Let's see. Tamnator, where can people find you on the internet?
For Horrorcast, they can find me on our Facebook page as Taminator.
All right. Jess, give us the deets.
All right. On Instagram, I'm amateur.destroyer. On Letterboxd, I'm Ashley_Slashy. On Facebook, I'm Jessica Schmidt with 2 T's. And you can find our Horror Through Her Eyes podcast, social media, everywhere. We're on Twitter. We have YouTube. We have a Facebook group. We have Instagram. We have TikTok. I think that's all the things. We have Threads. And then also, I recently guested on the Horror Returns podcast. And they're really cool. They're big supporters of the Horrorcast. I always see them reposting everything that you post, Mark, on their page. So that's really cool. It's like we don't even have to spam them. They do it for us. But they were really nice. We did a female empowerment March Madness bracket, because it's Women's Month. And so we're doing the women in horror thing. And I'm not going to spoil it and tell you guys who the winner is, but I will say that it surprised all of us. And it was a lot of fun. So whenever that drops, I'm not sure exactly when it's dropping. I think they're going to send me the link so that I can also post it through Horror Through Her Eyes. But I would recommend that everybody go check it out. I got to talk to Heather Powell, who I know is a big buddy of Mark's, because she kept making jokes about how you have to keep me in line and with me in a shape or whatever. So it was a good time.
I think you're ready to say, I guess I can't ask you what the final pairing was.
No, you're going to have to listen. I can message you. I'll message you and tell you, but I'm not going to announce it on here and ruin it for all the listeners.
We could guess.
You could guess, but I'm not going to say
I'm not
anything.
Not going to do it. Okay. All right. If you want to email us, you can do so at askthehorrorcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on X @thehorrorcast and on Instagram at thehorrorcast. Yeah. So there you go. That's going to do it for this episode of the Horrorcast, where it's all killer, no filler. Stay scared.
Mark, do you have any objection to me putting these roundtables on our YouTube page? Or YouTube? Do you care?
No.
All right.
Oh, people love seeing you, Mark.
Yeah, they do.
And they get.
I mean, I don't care. I don't.
I just think it helps when we're having, you got 4 people in a conversation. I think it helps if you can see each other's faces, so you know when someone else is talking, or that kind of thing. I think it makes it easier. But
no, for sure, faux show.
Yeah,
just
but
make sure you put my filter on.
You don't even need a filter.
You are beautiful just like you.
Trust me. I need a filter.
Nah.
I need a filter. I tell you, somebody told me, I told them I'll be 51 in May, and they said they didn't think that I was even over 40. And I was like,
I got that at the doctor the other day, and I was like, bless your heart, sweetheart.
Nice.
55. 55. That's like 60. Like, what the?
That's like 60. It's like 60, only 55.
It's also like 50.
Yeah.
Which
Think
is
of it
like
that way.
40, which is like 30.
Yeah, there you go.
Like 20.
50 is the new 30. Not really. But
that's awesome.
All righty. This will be out tomorrow. There's not a whole lot of editing in this.
Nice.
I'm gonna edit out everything I said, though.
Those are all the best parts.
Yeah. So, all righty.
Very good. Well,
See you
thanks for
guys
hanging
later.
out with me, guys.
All right.
Love it.
Assuming next Sunday.
Like this Sunday, like 6 days from now.
I think would be.
That's it's St. Patrick's Day.
I don't personally care about St. Patrick's Day.
I don't
so
either.
I'm good.
I don't think Vin will either, but we'll ask him. But this come out tomorrow, then we can do our next ghost.
And we're doing Tammy's, right? 1408 and Paranormal Activity.
Is that enough time? We think we've got enough time to?
I haven't even looked to see where they're
between now and Sunday.
It's fine for me. Plus, I could talk about both of those without even rewatching them, but I want to rewatch them.
Yeah, it's fine for me. And Tammy and I aren't recording. Oh, you haven't? I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember my mom and I liked it a lot.
What didn't you see? I didn't hear what you said.
1408. I've never seen it.
It's good, but like I said before, it's nowhere near as good as the story. But
Yep.
They really are. So.
Oh, I'm pissed off.
Why?
Sorry for that language.
Whoa, buddy!
I got my supposed region-free Blu-ray player in.
Uh-oh.
And then my Region B beautiful Tale of Two Sisters came in. Doesn't work.
No.
I would like to kill somebody. But I'm gonna have to send it back.
That.
Unless there's some trick that I don't know. But yeah, it's not working. But it's so beautiful, like the artwork and stuff. And yeah, just put it in. It says this region is not supported. I'm like, I just paid $140.
Yeah.
Blu-ray player, and it said that it was region free. So
right. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna yell at them?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it back, give them a bad review, probably order another one. But I was anticipating watching, on my 75-inch downstairs. I wanted to watch it. Yeah.
That sucks.
That sucks.
I'm sorry, buddy.
You should be.
Well,
it's your fault.
Sorry for you. I'm not taking responsibility.
Where did you order it from? Like eBay or something?
Amazon. It was Amazon.
Well, at least they're good about returns. Amazon will take anything back, so that's good. But still a hassle.
Already downloaded the little barcode that I got to take to the UPS store, and they'll do all that. But it just sucks because
it's such a letdown when you were finally yes. And
it's weird because it's not like they don't really sell region-free Blu-ray players. What happens is other companies buy the Blu-ray players either from LG or Sony or whatever, and they alter them. Like you can't buy a
Oh.
region-free Blu-ray player from Sony or from LG.
I didn't know that.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have to add like some sort of a card or some sort of a something that makes it region-free.
Why do we even have regions on DVDs? Like, why? You know, like
Probably a money thing.
Yeah.
I totally don't understand that world at all.
Yeah. I mean, why are the plugs and everything different?
Yeah.
In Europe. I mean, I don't know. It's all electricity. Like what in the world? I don't get
I know,
it. Can we all
right?
just get it together?
That is so funny.
All right.
It looks like Paranormal Activity is on HBO. 1408. 1408. I think you have to rent it. I think it might be on Stars, or if you like subscribe to Stars through anything else, then it'll let you watch it.
Do you have a way to
Let's
put it on
see.
your Plex, Mark?
Yeah.
I don't know what your secrets are.
I can put. I mean, I've got both of those on my DVD Blu-ray, so I can just rip them.
Oh.
Even though I haven't seen 1408, I own it.
Nice.
So usually, if
Okay,
there's
cool.
older movies like that, I just rip them on the hard drive and then put it on the Plex.
Okay. Well, that would be
The newer
just
stuff
be-
is usually, either screeners or things that I rip off of line. Like I have secrets. If I rent something on Prime, I can rip it as I'm watching it. Not sure it's quite legal, but I'm not selling it.
right.
It's just for us. Like we're the only ones that have.
Well, plus you're giving them publicity too, so you are
Yeah.
giving something back. You're going to
Yeah.
talk about it more like, most likely. So
Yeah. I used to get more screeners and stuff, but I haven't been as active and stuff on Facebook because I just don't have time. So I don't get as many as I used to. But
Yeah.
and usually it's just like a one-time watch thing with a code, and I'm like, can't you just send me like a thing and I can share it with everybody? And it's doesn't usually work that way. But
Right.
yep. Alrighty.
all right, dudes. Well, see you Sunday then.
See you Sunday.
Hasta la taco.
Nice to see your face, Mark.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Love it.
Filter free.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.